this is CC here. I'm looking on my channel today. I'm doing a react video of this channel called The Most Amazing Top 10s. You guys may have heard of it. They do top 10s about whatever stuff, but also it's kind of an update too. Not been really a reason that I haven't. It's just I haven't wanted to, I don't know. But like I haven't really got any ideas, which is okay, I guess. But like one of the things that I want to tell you guys is when I did like all my videos soon are going to be edited, but the only reason that they will be edited is if like they're going to be like, what was it? They're going to be like really laggy. If they're really laggy, then like I'm gonna actually spend more time on my videos and not just like put them out there and be like, oh, they're so bad. Be like, oh, they're just because they're bad, I'm just gonna leave them like that. But you never know. But whatever, let's just get into the video. So, most amazing top 10s. Hopefully that's good enough. Okay, so I'm just gonna be kind of commentated, but I'm not going to be able to see my face cam.
So far, I hope you're ready for a new Most Amazing Top 10 video. My name is Danny. Today, we're going to be talking to you guys about the top 10 laws you don't know you're breaking. Now, some of these won't be technically illegal where you're watching this from, but the things I'm about to talk about now are things that most of us do on a regular basis, and it's illegal somewhere out there in the world. So do try and avoid those places and maybe these crimes, and let's jump into this. Now, with our number 10, which is Wi-Fi squatting. Have you guys ever been standing outside of a coffee place and connected to their Wi-Fi for just a few minutes? Or maybe you've been inside of that place and connected, maybe while your friend is buying a drink, but you didn't buy anything yourself, and you might think you're just being a little bit cheeky, but you could actually be prosecuted for that if you get caught. Don't believe me? There was one case of a man in Michigan back in 2007 who did exactly this in a parked car outside.
Okay, so I'm
$400 and sentenced to 40 hours of community service, and he got off lightly. The maximum penalty under this law is actually $10,000 and 5 years.
Okay, personally, I've never done this before. Okay, yes I have. I've done it to the post office, the bank. Whatever, let's just go on, keep going.
Is in prison. I think that's a little bit mental. Moving on now, you probably all recognize this flag. Now, do you guys have any object in your house with it on? Well, at number 9, you could be breaking the law. According to official US code, you are not allowed to wear the flag or use it as bedding and curtains, as it's disrespectful. Maybe that's a little bit outdated, but a lot of you guys probably haven't broken that law of using an actual flag like that. Well, it does go on to say that you also can't use it for advertising or putting it on cushions or handkerchiefs or napkins or anything at all that will be thrown away afterwards. Now, although police are likely to arrest you these days for wiping away birthday cake with an American-themed napkin, you're still technically breaking the law. Alright, at number 8 now, we have jaywalking. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with this word, jaywalking is basically crossing the road when and where you probably shouldn't, and it's illegal in almost all US states. Now, a lot of people out there seem to think that jaywalking is more of a guideline, and that if you cross the road in a place where you shouldn't, you might just get a few angry beeps from cars that are passing by. But the truth is, you're probably breaking the law. Your punishment or fine will vary from place to place, but it's best to just always cross at a safe place, just in case. Alright, moving on to number 7 now. It's having a permanent marker pen in public. Yeah. Now, most of you guys will own one of these things, a permanent marker, or you might call it a Sharpie. But in some places, if you have one of these in public and you're under the age of 18, you could be breaking the law. Now, it all comes from anti-graffiti laws that are aimed to tackle young people vandalizing public property with aerosol sprays. But because it sometimes happens with marker pens too, they just threw those into the law as well. You actually have to be accompanied by a legal legal guardian in some places if you have a marker pen. It's a very weird law, and there have only been a few cases of it actually being enforced, but the law is the law. No marker pens for teenagers in public. Next up at number 6, we've got insulting royalty. Now this might sound like a law from medieval times, but in many European countries, if you're caught insulting the head of a state, you could find yourself in prison. It all comes under an old law called lèse majesté that has become more relaxed over the years, but there's still...
Okay, lèse majesté is probably French. Because majesté, I don't know.
Examples of it being enforced. In 2005, a journalist in Poland was sentenced for insulting the Pope, and then a human rights activist was charged with insulting Vladimir Putin. But it's nothing. Nothing compared to...
Did you see what he said? He said Vladimir Putin. That's mean. You should get...
Ireland, who have actually charged 53 people under the lèse majesté since 2014. 40 of those were from online comments that people wrote. In fact, one man got 60 years in prison for making comments about the Thai royal family. In this day and age, many of us just make casual jokes about kings and queens, but just be careful who is listening or who is reading them online, because it might just land you in jail. I was going to make a joke at the end of this one, but I don't want to go to prison. Coming in at number 5, we have swearing on the phone. Now, in a number of US states, there is a law that says over the telephone it is illegal to use any kind of obscene, vulgar, profane, or indecent language to another person that you're talking to. In the US state of Virginia, this law was actually put into practice in 2014 when a man rang the office of an attorney general that he wasn't happy with. He reached the answer phone and proceeded to leave a whole message full of curse words and swearing, which actually landed him a $250 fine after pleading guilty to the misdemeanor. Now, we all get mad at people over the phone and sometimes swear at them, but depending on where you are, it might be best to watch your tongue if you don't want a nasty run-in with the law. Alright, moving on to number 4 now. We've got writing something disturbing. Just that. Now, in some US states, if you write a horrific, violent, or just plain creepy story, you could find yourself breaking the law. Some places class this kind of writing as disorderly conduct. In Illinois, for example, if you write something that disturbs the person who's reading it, whether or not you actually published it, the maximum penalty is 30 days in jail and a whopping $1,500 fine. That means if I grew up there as a teenager, most of the stuff that I wrote would probably have got me a month in a cell. I wrote some pretty lame, teenage, angsty rubbish. Alright, coming in at number 3 now. We have betting with friends. Most of us make small bets with our friends on the outcomes of, sporting events. $10 here, $20.
Okay, so the maximum bet I have ever done is $2 on probably a horse race, and I won.
There, and some people might even wager thousands on these bets. Now, you guys might think that's just being irresponsible, it's not too bad, but it's technically illegal in some places. In Virginia, if you or your friends bet more than $2,000 in one day, you're classed as running an illegal gambling operation. In fact, in 2006, one man was even shot and killed by a SWAT team for doing this after betting over $2,000 on a football game. They later had to pay the victim's family $2 million because that was obviously ridiculous, but it's still a scary thought. 1 minute, you can be considered a bit of a money risk taker looking for a thrill, no harm, it's all, just a bit of fun, and the next, you're basically Al Capone. Okay, moving on to number 2 now. We've got snowball fights. Yes, this law comes from Aspen in Colorado, with a law that states it is unlawful to throw stones or objects or fire guns in public or at a person in public. That seems fair, right? Yeah. But they also added snowballs. You are actually breaking the law if you throw a big fat snowball at your friend in the park. It seems like this law was brought in to stop people from actually throwing solid ice at another person and then being like, oh no, it was just a snowball. But the truth is, it's pretty hard to define where a snowball ends and a big lump of ice begins. If a police officer in Aspen thinks your snowball has crossed that line, they can slap you with a fine. Now, I hope this law doesn't apply in other places out there, because snowball fights are probably the only good thing about that winter. Am I right? Like, don't take that away from us. Finally, at number 1, we have a law that some of you guys might be breaking right now as you watch this. The Google account age. If you have a YouTube account, then you will have had to agree to their terms and conditions that you are at least 13 years old.
Nope.
Great. If you are 13 or older, then that's fine. But if you're not and you have an account that you can comment on this video with, you're technically breaking the law. In the US, companies like YouTube and Facebook have to obey the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, which means no children under the age of 13 are allowed to sign up for websites that require personal information, just like this one. So if you're under 13, then well, I guess you can stay. I won't tell anyone, but you have to subscribe. I mean, if you want, obviously. It's completely up. Like this one. So, if you're under 13,
don't
then
hurt me.
Well, I guess you can stay.
I subscribe and I like.
But you
don't
have
hurt
to subscribe. Me. I mean, if you want, obviously. It's completely optional, not bribing or threatening you. Or am I? No, I'm honestly not. Don't worry. Alright, thanks for watching Most Amazing Top 10.
I'm gonna
say bye now. I'm gonna go on my way. But if you wanna hang out with past versions of me,
okay, I'm ready to gag. I'm seriously ready to gag. I'm gonna watch like 2 more videos since these videos are pretty short, so who really cares?
Pictures tell a story frozen in time. Sometimes their story is immediately evident, while other times you may have to dig a little to find it. Historical and famous events captured on film are a rarity, but their stories are fascinating. Here are just a few of these photos from the past. Fainting before the Queen. While meeting Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II may seem overwhelming, one foot guard appeared to definitely be overwhelmed. However, he wasn't overwhelmed by the presence of the Queen. On a very hot day in June 1970, Queen Elizabeth II was riding by during the Trooping the Colours ceremony in London, an event to celebrate her birthday each year. It was just poor timing that this guard collapsed due to the heat, just as the Queen went by.
Wow.
World's tallest man. Robert Pershing Wadlow, otherwise known as the Giant of Illinois, was an American man that became famous for his incredible height. Before he died in July 1940, he had reached an amazing 8 foot 11 inches and is still considered to be the world's tallest man. His great height was attributed to a hyperactive pituitary gland. His legs were so long he needed braces and a cane to walk. He traveled with the Ringling Brothers Circus, and after doing a tour with the International Shoe Company, they began to supply him with shoes size 36 free of charge.
What?
Building the Golden Gate Bridge. This amazing suspension bridge in San Francisco, California is 3 miles long and a mile wide. It took 4 years to build, from January 1933 until April 1936.
Did I just hear right? It's 3 miles long going like straight. And then, so if I what? No, that can't be. So if I walked from one end of the suspension bridge to the other, I would have walked 1 freaking mile. What? That is crazy.
7. It cost $35 million, coming in $1.3 million under budget and ahead of schedule. Thanks to the safety measures put in place by Joseph Strauss, only 11 workers died and 19 were saved by the nets during construction. It's one of the wonders of the modern world and was the longest suspension bridge in the world until 1964. White Night Riots. In May 1979, the White Night riots in San Francisco were triggered by the lenient sentence handed down to Dan White after he shot and killed Harvey Milk and Mayor George Moscone. Milk was the first openly gay elected official in the U.S. Just the initial charge of first-degree murder, White was only convicted of voluntary manslaughter, which only carried a 7-year prison term. The gay community was so enraged they took to the streets, causing hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage to City Hall and the surrounding area.
Wow.
Paper Towers.
Oh.
This CD-ROM can hold more information than all of the paper that's here below me, said Bill Gates in 1994. The co-founder of Microsoft Corporation started his business in 1975 and watched as it grew into one of the most successful businesses in the world. It also made him one of the richest men in the process. While Microsoft continues to grow, it's amazing to think that from 1994 to today, the phones in our pockets can hold over 300 CDs worth of information.
Wow.
Testing at Bikini Atoll. Between 1946 and 1958, 23 nuclear devices were detonated by the U.S. at Bikini Atoll. There were several different testing sites in the area, including sites underwater. The first tests were codenamed Operation Crossroads at the beginning of the Cold War with the Soviet Union. Due to nuclear testing, the area became uninhabitable, contaminating both the soil and water. The U.S. paid former residents of the island $2 billion in compensation for the damages caused. As of 2014, it was deemed possible for residents to return, but so far, very few have. Baby gas masks. During the Battle of Britain in 1940, the threat of chemical warfare loomed over England, so they made sure they were prepared. While an aerial war was waged between German forces and the British Royal Air Force, hospitals performed a series of drills to ensure their patients were safe. Due to the air raids, factories and other buildings were often targeted. As a precaution, babies were fit with special gas masks, and the staff was constantly prepared for the worst. Bodybuilding. Before his film and political careers, Arnold Schwarzenegger had a different profession. Schwarzenegger began weightlifting when he was a young teenager and won the title of Mr. Universe at the age of 20. He also holds the title of Mr. Olympia, which he has won 7 times. His amazing physique helped him land the role as Conan the Barbarian in 1982. Trench warfare. At a glance, this may look like a fireworks show, but some would see it differently. During the First World War in 1917, trench warfare between the Allies and the Central Powers of Germany and Austria-Hungary raged. While soldiers were protected from small arms fire and artillery, bombs and gas were another thing. During this war, more than 9 million combatants were killed, and it was considered one of the deadliest conflicts in history. Marilyn meets the Queen. In London's Leicester Square for a royal film performance, a young Queen Elizabeth II and Marilyn Monroe would meet. Both women were 30 years old at the time, in October 1956. Monroe was there as a guest for the screening of The Battle of the River Plate with her husband, Arthur Miller. She was joined as well by Victor Mature, an American stage and film actor. MGM Lion. Leo was the lion used for the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer and late Goldwyn Pictures film logos. Several different lions have been used since 1924 and were trademarked as Leo the Lion, but only the lion used in 1957 was actually named Leo. The other lions were named Slats, Jackie, Telly, Coffee, Tanner, and George. In addition to being logo lions, many of the lions also appeared in Hollywood films like Ben-Hur and Tarzan. There are still rumors that Slats, the first lion used by MGM, killed his trainer, but this was simply not true. His trainer, Volney Pfeiffer, long outlived the lion and passed away in the 1970s after retiring as a prominent animal trainer. Tell us what you thought of these incredible photos in the comments. Did any in particular stand out to you? Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos daily. Thanks for watching.
I'm going on camera by the paparazzi. I don't know what to watch. People Google Street View. This is gonna be funny. I'm telling you, this is gonna be hilarious. Guys, you're gonna laugh your pants off. This is gonna be hilarious.
Today, there are cameras everywhere. If you're paranoid or worried that Big Brother is watching, then
I love that show.
Thing. If you like being able to see a detailed view of the world around you, then it can be a good thing. As part of Google's push to map out every detail of the world around us, their Street View can provide helpful images that make navigation a lot easier. As you will see, however, it can also show a world which is full of crazy moments. Just keep driving. We can only imagine the reaction of anyone who looks up the directions to this house and finds this Google Street View image as a result. Whoever was driving that Google van that day must have been glad to get out of the area, because whenever you come across several black-clad figures wearing balaclavas, it can only mean trouble. In this instance, the masked figures are police, but the image raises many questions, which probably will never be answered.
Wow.
You're doing it wrong. There can be some pretty strange stuff captured on Google Street View, and this is definitely one of them. Why are 2 people dressed in full scuba gear out on the street? Why are they chasing the Google van with spears? These are good questions. The 2 scuba divers have clearly been waiting on the sidewalk, as evident by the lawn chairs sitting just off to the side. Maybe this is their idea of a dry run? Too much of a good time. More than a few of us have been there. You know, you've been out celebrating something and had way too many drinks only to pay for it later. In this guy's case, he seems to be paying for it sooner than he planned for. Worse yet, the Google car just happened to drive by at the moment he was refunding his good time and captured this scene forever. At the very least, he has a good friend there to help him. That, or a random stranger in antlers is about to rob him. Trunk space.
Okay.
What exactly is going on in this picture? At first glance, it appears this guy might be escaping from the trunk of a car. Once you take in the surrounding environment, though, it's clear that he's in the process of cleaning, repairing, or installing something in the trunk of his car. We're just not 100% sure why he appears to be almost naked, or why he is completely in the trunk. We're sure there's some sort of logical explanation for this scene, whatever that might be. Epic battle. If there was ever proof that time travel exists, then Google Street View discovered it in Pittsburgh. During the mapping of the area, the car clearly came across some sort of crazy battle between what appears to be a samurai and a Viking warrior. Closer inspection reveals the two are wearing homemade outfits and brandishing bats or clubs instead of actual bladed weaponry. Whether real or just two bored guys trying to kill some time, it just goes to show the strange things that happen all around us.
Okay.
Comic-Con. If one thing is for certain, it's that Google Street View captures a lot of people dressed up like monsters and superheroes. In fact, if you didn't know any better, you'd think from this shot that this year's Comic-Con was being hosted in the Shetland Islands. Complete with Captain America, the Hulk, and the Incredibles, either the Google Cam drove through around Halloween, or these islands off the coast of Scotland are the most amazing place in the world to live. Incoming! The town on England's southern coast, Brighton, is known for its buildings, arcades, and waterfronts. This makes it a popular destination for tourists.
Oh, I need a beer back. Okay, I'm back.
Okay, the seagull is actually normal size, but good timing on the part of the camera captured this bird as it tried to come in
I need to be right back again, sorry guys.
Alright,
so I'm really,
this is
I
very
don't know.
real.
I keep hearing something and I'm going to look at it, but
Driving in a foreign
I don't
country
know.
can present you with all sorts of new challenges. After all, there are different signs, speed limits, and other laws that mean you may have to be on your toes. Apparently, this Google Street View shot is proof that travelers to Mexico need to also be watchful for random horror movie characters. Let's see, we have Freddy, the Wolfman, and the guy from Scream. Yup, this seems like a good reason to lock the doors, roll up the windows, and pray you don't break down. The pigeon people. Imagine scrolling through images on Google, looking for directions, and you come across this.
I've seen
Sure,
that
they
before.
can do a lot of things in Japan that seem very strange to foreigners, but this is definitely up there. To be honest, it looks like a scene out of some sort of B-movie. Is this a cult of some type? A quick search around the internet says that there is an art school nearby, so we're going to go with that as an explanation, because it lessens the creepy factor just a bit.
Okay.
Robbery. A lot of what Google captures for their Street View images is staged or faked. However, this image taken in February of 2015 in Johannesburg, South Africa is 100% real. As the Google car drives by, taking in the world around it, unknowingly capturing two armed men robbing a security guard at gunpoint. Police later said the incident was a crime of opportunity and the security guard's weapon was taken by the criminals. If anything is criminal about this picture, though, it's the hat that one gunman decided to wear out on this particular day. Thanks for watching this video, folks. Here's a couple of the videos we think you might dig. And why don't you let us know what you thought of these weird pictures down in the
Alright
comments.
guys, thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe, and I will see you, I'm gonna do that again. If you liked it, please like and subscribe, share with your friends, and, if you, I hope you liked the video. If you did, like and subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.